How is everybody today? Welcome to Conversation with Regina. Life is wonderful here. You know, it's a nice, sunny, bright day out. And, you know, we've got a wonderful show going today. Oh my God, I just realized it's a good thing that you guys can't talk to me because I realized just now that I don't have my hearing aids in. Oh my God, what am I going to do? So anyway, I'm Regina and you are you. And welcome. I guess I've already said that, but you know me, I like to repeat myself over and over again. So let's get down to it and let's run a banner across there that says we're kind of brought to you by Riz Roast Coffee. I'm a coffee roaster. I own the company. I do all the roasting. You know, we're a thriving little concern. We had a show a couple of weeks ago about Bodhi Leaf coffee, and you know, I get all my coffees from there. Every coffee that's on my webpage comes through Bodhi Leaf, and you know, I'm really proud. They really help me out because they give me very high quality coffees, and they even give me tips on roasting sometimes. So it's a wonderful give and take there. You know, Tim is such a wonderful young man, and you know, I'm not going to go down that road, but you know, he's a lot of fun, and I look forward always to talking to him. We just have wonderful coffees, and we always take coffees in the upper 80s, and we never go below 85, you know, and most coffees are in the upper 80s. I mean, not most. The good coffees, the better quality coffees, are very few ever get into the 90s. And so anyway, enough of that. Maybe we can have Tim back and he can talk about the scoring system and how to pick good coffees and talk more, do another cupping. That was so much fun, very informative for me. So then also, I hope that you like the channel and that you subscribe and like our show today. Subscribe to the channel and click the bell so that you might be notified of the next time that I do something. You know, I could send out another thumbnail that has the wrong date on it, like I did last night. Oh my God. You know, I got it all set up finally on Facebook. And then Simone says, she writes to me and she says, Regina, is this for next year? Is this for February 2022? And I'm like, what are you talking about? You know? And then I realized, oh shit, it's March. And so I go back. I was going to delete it all. I was going to go back and change it. All I wanted to change was that date. Well, I could change it. But then when I go to share it, reverts back to that original because there's not enough changed on everything else. And so I finally just changed it in the little bit of text that I'd written and hope that we have some people watching us today. But it's funny because I've lost a whole freaking month or I haven't even seen February yet. I don't know what happened. I don't know what I was thinking. It's just unconscionable. Oh, mercy. But that's life in my shoes. If I ever wore shoes. Oh, look at this. Let's go to the comments and see who's here. So Who do we have here? First off, we got our moderators, Casey and Christy. And thank you, girls, for being here and helping out. I do so appreciate both of you. Life is very good when you have Casey and Christy as your moderators. And then I see Louise. I've already said hi to Louise, and Sarah and Eva are both here. So anyway, oh, look at this. Casey, I don't know. Melting snow is good in March. I think so. Most of the snow right here at the house is gone. Every once in a while you see where they've been plowed a damn parking lot or something. There'll still be a little bit. Hey, Gracie's here. Gracie is from Walla Walla, just down the road a little bit. Good to see you, Gracie. And so, yeah. And Simone's here, my savior last night. That was so funny, Simone. So funny. And I'm getting way behind here. Jessica Dean, our lady from Ireland, is here. Hi, Jessica. And oh my gosh, you called me Marty. Oh, silly. That's funny. So, yes, bravo to the moderators. Yeah, boy. And so I think I got a kind of an interesting topic today, because I'll tell you what, my spiritual guides, the people that I read and whatnot, they tell me to love everyone and tell the truth. And truth be told, I don't love everyone. I also realize that, for me to progress spiritually, I need to get past that. And so I'm going to use that ex-president and that other traitor McConnell, and if that offends anybody, that's too bad. So, most of us here are not big fans of those two because they've tried to eradicate us and whatnot. And I find it most difficult to find a way to open my heart and be compassionate with those folks, to be kind. First off, let me read you a definition of compassion. And this is Merriam-Webster. Let's go Merriam-Webster. I love Merriam-Webster. Sympathetic consciousness of others' distress, together with a desire to alleviate it. So compassion is very similar to sympathy, pity. In fact, some of the other definitions actually define compassion with that, but it goes another step further and it says we need to take action to relieve those, to help those out who are still suffering, and so this is, of course, those big mucky mucks, they're not in a lot of distress. They're not suffering very much. Do I need to show compassion for them? Well, when they do the things that they do, it's because there's deep-seated anger and they're freaking in distress, And if they're doing it with joy in their heart, then they're sick bastards. And pardon my language. how do we deal with that? I mean, how do you get mad at somebody and then still profess to or try to find love in your heart for that person? I mean, that's what it really boils down to. I start way up there at the top because it's easier to talk about. But, at some point we have to like bring this down to where it's at our own personal level, because there's people who upset me all the time, and it's difficult, it's sometimes difficult to sit in the same room with people, I mean, take a family member. If my brother walked through the door right now, how am I going to react to that after he hasn't spoken to me for 10 years or 12 years or whatever it's been? I don't even really care anymore. I mean, there's not a great deal of love lost between us. We were never tight before, but because I transitioned, now he won't even speak to me. He won't even mention my name or even my dead name. I don't exist. And it's kind of an interesting concept. So how do we deal with that? I mean, a lot of us have members of our families that we would like to be close with, but we don't, or members of our community or whatever. It's not important. So I was going to use these guys up here, frickin' Trump and McConnell. It's easy to hate on them. And I'm sorry, did I say hate on them? See how easy all that bullshit, all that is? What's this? Of the two mentioned, I think I have much less compassion for, because I think he knows what he's doing and why. In other words, I know better, but that's what he does anyway. So how do we deal with that? Because what I've learned over time, that if I let that stay in my head, they're renting space in my head without paying me any rent. God, I want to swear today. I'm usually pretty good. Don't say the F word a lot on screen, and hey, there's Holly and LeSoir, and who else has just popped into the chat room? Anyway, so here we are, and how do we let it go? How do we bring love back and let the anger go? I particularly like a book that I discovered in a 12-step recovery program, but it's not approved by that 12-step recovery program. It was just written by one of the people who has the story in the back of the book, and it's called "You Can't Make Me Angry," and he talks about this rent in the head and how when he starts getting upset, he's blaming it on himself for allowing that to happen. And, so I mean, that seems to me to be like a good idea. So like, say on a more personal level, somebody misgenders or dead names, and we don't even think anything about it because it's on them. It doesn't have anything to do with me. It's just that they're assholes, and life is going to go on, and they're going to continue to be who they are, and we're going to say a little prayer for them, and it's going to, we're going to work our way past it. And I don't let things like that. I try not, here's the thing about being honest is you got to do it, and I have, having lived as long as I did with every day of my life being a lie, it's hard sometimes for me to tell the truth. And that's kind of why I want to talk about this, is because, for the last 6 months or whatnot, I've talked about loving everybody. And then I added, and tell the truth. But I never really clarified about whether I did love everybody or not. And so here I am, I'm saying I don't, because I do not like Mitch McConnell and I don't like Donald Trump, hands down. But that does not mean I want them renting space in my head. So how do I get past that? And I struggle with that. I struggle with that because here I am. I'm like naming names and I'm saying, and last year on my Ram Dass calendar, everybody's got a Ram Dass calendar. It tells me that when I'm angry with somebody, I need to open my heart to them, or I'm upset with somebody, or I don't love them. I need to open my heart and find compassion to relieve their suffering. I need to take an action there. And oh, mercy. These things are difficult. Do we want to continue to progress spiritually, or do we want to stay locked into this mode? And this could easily slip into being a victim. One thing I ain't gonna buy into is being a victim. And so here we are. We got to keep moving forward. I mean, I want to quit the merry-go-round. I want to enter the big melting pot of consciousness and not have to worry about doing another. I want to reach nirvana, someday. And I'm, I got no idea what that really entails. But what I see is these spiritual leaders feeling really good about things. And I don't see me always feeling really good about stuff. And how do we get there? And so it's like doing stuff like this and being honest and talking about stuff and trying hard to, what's the word I'm looking for? Trying hard to overcome the difficulties that we know are not good. There is nothing about anger that I want to have around me. There's nothing about the lack of compassion that I want to have around me. Some of the things that I saw in my research, reading a few definitions of compassion, the little things that we can do that are compassionate and loving. Oh my God. And I'm just about, here's the kicker. Being kind is a great, compassionate act. So like we can open the door for people. We can smile at people on the street because you never know which one of those people out there is suffering in some way. And a smile is just conveyance of our innate love for mankind, and you know, it's progress. I mean, we're not perfect. There's not a person that's listening here, or myself, or anybody that I know that's on the planet that's perfect. You know, rumor has it. And but what is truth? That's a good question, you know. I got no answer. Um, let me go just a minute more, and then we'll keep that question in mind, and then I'll ask it and see what you guys come up with. I want to, God, there's just a great amount of comments here, but I kind of want to get just a skosh further, because I'm really excited to talk about this with you guys, and I see, you know, that you guys are being honest, and so, hey, this is going to be great. So anyway, where was I? So we're being kind, opening doors, smiling at people, you know, and respect. Oh my God, a couple years ago, I got onto some page and I said, well, you need to show respect to people, and one of the comments was, you have to earn respect. No, I think you respect each other until you have done something that you lose respect for. But then, even then, you know, where's our compassion come in? And so I guess showing respect is a form of compassion, you know, we're by being pleasant, by being kind, by, you know, saying hello and smiling at people. And these are just little things that we can all do to each other, and help us progress spiritually. Huge. You know, for me, to know it's just these little acts, and because, oh gosh, you know, when thinking about it, Mother Teresa was a most compassionate person, you know, that I've, or Martin Luther King, you know, very compassionate, and trying to stop the suffering. And how do we do this in our own lives? So let's take a few minutes here and see what we got going in the chat room. I'll throw some, you know, some of your comments up, and probably go along and talk about them for a while, because that's what I do. You know, I you know, I'm going to be honest for a minute. I kind of miss having these conversations like this. I mean, we've done a lot more guests, and I like that. But I kind of, God, I need to talk about the spiritual stuff a little bit, because it helps me to take a look at things. You know, I'm big on vocalization. You know, I can't deal with a problem until I vocalize it. I can't deal with a concept until I talk about it a little bit. And since we're like in the lockdown, you guys have become my confidants, and you know, this is who I go to talk to, and I hope you don't mind. I'm glad to see you all here today. So I'm just going to scroll up a little bit off of these comments and see where I joined in here. Walla Walla to Bora Bora. Who's in Bora Bora? So good. I'm still back where, okay, here we go. Oh, I've already showed that one. Jessica. As the Buddha states, you can't control others' thoughts. True, so true. And so we can't have that expectation that they're always going to treat us compassionately and with kindness and whatnot. And how do we continue to show them those very same things of a Buddha conscious? And that's where I'm at. You know, if I could just get into that consciousness and stay there and get rid of the crap in my head. So I love this one. Remove him from power and influence and then ignore him. So we did that with the ex-president, but we haven't done the ignore yet. And I really wish that it would start soon. And then he would lose his power and influence. And to me, that's like paramount. Oh, it doesn't sound good, Casey. I would avoid him. So, yeah, avoid. I seldom go places where I don't feel welcome, you know, and that's like if a store or something, you know, if they're not falling all over themselves to chit chat with me, I look at like, why even want to come back here? And I include big chain grocery stores in that. If checkers aren't friendly, yeah, I don't need to spend my money there. I just don't. So I'm a little hard pressed to have compassion for him. He also seems like the type to not be comfortable with my transition. So I find it best without him. You know, I guess what we can do is like a family member like that is, you know, I'm completely with you on just building a wall. But I think that we need to be able to open our hearts a little bit too, and be compassionate from afar, if that makes any sense. I hope it does. I kind of think it does. You know, be kind. Sometimes by not saying anything, that's the kindest that we can be. You know, boundaries. You know, I was told the other day that a good, strong boundary is compassion. So that's interesting. You know, I'm glad you brought that up, Casey. I really am. Right on. There you go. There you go. Well, thank you, Holly. Whoa, there's like yeah, wow. You know, there is a way that forgiveness is compassion. And I have heard, that people like that need forgiven. And this is one of those hard things that I'm, talking about, because if we don't, then we're living with that anger. We're living with those feelings, and I don't understand how to do it. I really don't. And that's why I bring this up, is because how do we do it? How do we take that out of here, and that deep feeling and that anger, and how could a person like that, and you want me to say, oh, I forgive you, and it's, and so, like, there's a place in a divinely written book that I read, and it talks about praying for those who we have resentments against. And you say a prayer for them, and in this prayer, you ask for them to have everything that you want in life. So if you want happiness, you want joy, you're praying for them to have that too. And after 2 weeks of doing that, theoretically, that resentment will be gone. And what will be helpful is they'll be moved out of your head then. And so that's what, some things, all we can ask for is to move them out of our thoughts. Is that enough? And then we go on being compassionate, and that person who is still suffering, we forgive them and ask for them to have everything, and they get taken away from our thought patterns. I mean, is that the answer? Now we're back to Simone's question. But what is truth? And so as I'm scrolling down through here, I hope that I see some of your answers. Well, I love everyone on a basic human level. I acknowledge their existence as human beings, and therefore should receive some basic level of love, compassion, and respect, even if that's pretty small, Casey. But you're right. Sometimes that's all it's going to be. Was there supposed to be a point there too? Because that's still 1%. And then it would be 1/1,000,000th or 100,000th. Yeah, one. Wow, that's not very much. So yeah, I mean, so true. But even if we're not around them, and we, it's hard to. I mean, I don't know, a lot of hard questions here, and so the swaz is like searching for that truth too, and whoa, aren't we all? Namaste. Well, great. Hey, there's Lulu. Hi, Lulu. How are you doing? Yeah, I like that, Holly. Like that. And I got to the end. Did I skip a bunch? You can only open your hearts to someone who is not toxic. You need to avoid toxicity in order to survive. Amen. Yes. You know, yeah, we don't have to hang around that stuff. And I recommend not hanging around it because there used to be an old saying, and I've got it on my refrigerator typed out, and it says, if you hang around a barber shop long enough, you're going to get a haircut. And which means that if you hang around with toxic folks, pretty soon you're going to be toxic too. And I couldn't agree with more. So Holly is a true ally. Amen. Thank you, Holly. Thank you. Thank you. What's Lou got going here? I am not sure what Stockholm syndrome is. Oh, somebody is talking about boundaries here. Boundaries, compassion is admirable but it does not cross boundaries. Perhaps compassion can stay and could be unnecessary to express it to cruel people. Well, I think you missed the earlier part here, Lou, because compassion needs to be expressed for our own selves, not, if we have compassion for everyone is what the spiritual guides say, then, and that's what I'm trying to talk about is how do we do that? And so, yeah, and that's what the questions are. We can only hope that. So true. Yes. I hope that, I hope people are on the same quest that I am. And but they're not always. And it's like a month or two ago, we did a show about forgiveness and one of my friends told me he couldn't forgive, the things and I that's their deal. And but that's not for me. I don't want to live with that judgmentalness, that hate, that anger, in my heart, in my head, in my soul. If we're trying to be free of those kind of things, it just doesn't make sense to me to harbor it, to not be compassionate. But I don't know how to do some of it. And so Sarah's laughing at me here. Oh, bless your heart. Well, I missed a bunch of stuff. You know, this thing skips around on me. Simone's tired of the lockdown? Hey, how about the CDC the other day saying that we could meet in small groups once we've had all of our vaccinations and not wear masks and be indoors and so I have this appointment with a friend on Monday that I hadn't seen for the whole year. We had not been in the same room. And, you know, when she was walking up to the door of my roastery, because at the roastery, we decided that was the most comfortable place. You know, she didn't come to the house. She didn't want to come to the house. And so, you know, we met outside before I let her in, and I had put my mask on, but she was carrying hers, and I said, in light of everything, when did you have your last shot? And it was a day, you know, my 2 weeks was the next day, and hers was today, and so we hugged and proceeded to have a conversation without freaking masks on, and how pleasant that was, you know. And God, I figured, you know, we ended up talking for hours. Oh gosh, it was nice to get a human hug. Nice, nice, nice. Heidi's dream. I haven't said hi to Heidi. Hi, Heidi. A web search. Oh, a psychological response occurs when hostages or bond with their captors or abusive. So in our context, I'm confused. Wouldn't that be like Patty Hearst and the Symbionese Liberation Army? Here's a question. How do we have compassion for haters? You know, that's like one of the easiest ones at all, because they're obviously in pain, you know, and we want them to get better, and they won't be in pain, and probably, you know, the pain causes them to be haters. You know, they're insecure about identity and or orientation or something, and so I would suggest that they you know, they do what they want, but we pray for them or meditate for them or wish them well, and be compassionate, smile at them. You know, we don't have to always be angry. You know, I think that we can win more people to our side by smiling, being kind, and being upfront about that, you know, about being compassionate. You know, when we react in a poor, angry manner, we are not doing anything for each other. As a community, my opinion, as a community, we need to stick together and be as unified as we possibly can. And because we're such a small group, you know, what is it? 1.5 million people are trans. maybe it's closer to 2 million people now, but out of the 700 million people here in this country, that kind of makes us a pretty small minority and quite marginalized. And so, a little unity where we're presenting as being decent human individuals goes a long ways. And that's my opinion. I hope that we all share that. I think I would approach compassion for haters by trying to better understand where their hate comes from. From there, I would look for ways to help them see how they are hurting others. Thank you, Christy. Good job. $1.5 million and growing. Yeah. I think, look at all of us older folks who have recently come out and I think that number is going to grow exponentially here. And hopefully it'll take in some of the NB numbers will grow as well. And will actually so true. If you are not of the, more, one of the larger portions of the population, you're right on, so true, that we are not the only people who are marginalized and treated poorly. And I remember helping a friend who had volunteered to be in a wheelchair on the college campus for a week, I think it was. And because she just struggled with that wheelchair, trying to get to her classes using the elevators and wheeling across campus in 15 minutes, trying to deal with the curbs and couldn't even go into the lunch area because it was down steps. The hub of the campus there was a way in, but it really wasn't very handicapped accessible. So I've reached the bottom here again. Did we ever come up about, here's Louise saying something. Oh, cool. So 6 degrees of separation. There you go, right there. Love it. So we're close to all these famous people. Did Heidi leave? I didn't get to say goodbye. So here we are. And so we're making progress here, I think, or not. What do it's a difficult question. And you guys don't really have any more answers than I do. And I think that's good. I think that's good. We've had some really good examples come up, and it's just food for thought. How to think about those others and suffering is something that happens to all of us. And so, while some people might have all the money in the world and we wouldn't think they're suffering very much, they still have a brain in between their ears, and that makes a lot of people suffer. It's like the misogynistic pigs that thrive, in that world of the elites. That almost sounds like wacko stuff there, doesn't it? Woo! Listen to me. Listen to me. So oh, Louise, I just love you. Wish for them what we want. Okay, they should all have sex reassignment surgery, but surprise them with it. Oh my God, I love that. That's great. Oh dear. I could leave that up all day, but cage them. You sound like me, Lou, because I want to bring out the guillotine for those supporters. Anyway, not to beat a dead horse or anything, but what do we got? Where are we at? What are we going to do? When we, and I always say, when we sink into that being haters too, when we start calling people names and when we start saying blah blah, are we any better? And the answer is no, because we have taken on the role of being a judger, and those are things that, the way I understand it, we're not supposed to be. That there is this thing called equality, that each one of us, regardless of how we identify, the color of our skin, our sex, our orientation sexually, or anything else, all people, all human beings are equal. Whether we got a shit ton full of money or we are just homeless on, without a penny, we're all equal. Boom. Playing field level. So we're talking about, how do we let it go? How do we let it go? Because it's so hard. I mean, it's not easy to forgive those who took children away from their parents and put them in a cage. It's not easy to forgive those who sexually molest and abuse others. It is not easy to forgive those who murder and kill. All those things are most difficult. And so the big spiritual leaders are asking us, oh, you got to forget, it's totally up to us. We can, or we don't have to, but we're not on that. The journey changes when we choose to not do some of those things, I guess. Wouldn't you think? I mean, as we become aware, that's what I'm told. We are loving awareness. And that's all we are. Each and every one of these people out here, even the murderers and abusers, and they are loving awareness, just same as you and I. The homeless person out here that might be mentally challenged, or financially challenged, they're just as equal as you and I. And so level playing field. And so, it's hard for me to keep in mind all those things, because I have always been very radical towards the people in power. I don't really think that they have our best interests in mind. So I don't know. We're not a bunch of radicals here, I don't think, but I might be. I don't know. So, so anyway, what's this? All we can do is be positive. Amen to that. So is it time for a reading? Well, what would you like me to read? Do you want like a parable or a little Ram Dass or I'd be happy to do a reading. A singing? Oh my God, no. I was afraid to sing again. Very nice, Louise. Very nice. Thank you for saying that. That's the truth right there. There's truth, Parable, please. Ram Dass is always a good idea. So we got lots of time. Maybe I could do one of both. We'll do a parable and then maybe finish with a little Ram Dass. So excellent call, you guys. Where's my parable book? Probably what I should do is do some writing and then we can just read some Regina, Have I ever read The Astronomer? This is a nice short one. So are we ready? Did we get the ding? Casey, where's my ding? Okay, here we go. Maybe I should get. There it is. There it is. Oh my gosh. There. Ding, ding. And Casey did a ding too. So, The Astronomer. In the shadow of the temple, my friend and I saw a blind man sitting alone. And my friend said, "Behold, the wisest man of our land." Then I left my friend and approached the blind man and greeted him, and we conversed. After a while, I said, "Forgive my question, but since when hast thou been blind?" "From my birth," he answered. Said I, "And what path of wisdom followest thou?" Said he, "I am an astronomer." Then he placed his hand upon his breast, saying, "I watch all these suns and moons and stars." How about that? I am an astronomer. I watch all these suns and moons and stars. So that's pretty profound, don't you think? Pretty profound. So I saw this Ram Dass thing, and I think I'm going to read it. It's a little longer. Are we done talking about the parable? Did you all get that? That's having a very deep spiritual essence to be able to do that. Absolutely. Thanks, Casey. And thank you, Holly. Good words with much meaning. That's a question to contemplate, isn't it? I contemplate about my own brother, and I don't think it'll ever happen, and he's probably going to die before I do, unless I die tomorrow. I don't know. So we're going to read Ram Dass now, and this is going to be interesting. This is from Grist for the Mill. I got a new Ram Dass book, but it's a biography, and I haven't gotten past his Richard Alpert days. And so I haven't gotten anything really to read you out of it yet. Although I was struck by the back cover of it, and I didn't even look at the back cover when I started reading it. And it said, "Love everybody, serve everybody, remember God, and tell the truth." And hey, Darrigan's here. Darrigan is training with me to be a coffee roaster. Good job. Rock? Oh, I do, don't I? That's cool. So here we go with the Ram Dass. We come together, representatives of many forms, many methods, all the way from Krishnamurti, who says there is no method, to Krishna consciousness or fundamental Christianity, which say our way is the only way, with defined forms. Where we meet is in what is common to all these forms. And what is common to all of our forms is not another form. What is common to all of our forms is choiceless awareness, is pure love, is flow and harmony in the universe, the absence of clinging spaciousness. We can call this Buddha mind. We can call it the heart of Allah. We could call it Christ consciousness. We could call it Yahweh or God. I have involved myself with many forms, methods of vipassana meditation to make me more mindful, to quiet my mind and to bring it to one pointedness. Devotional practices, worshiping the feet of my guru and singing Hare Krishna and Shri Ram Jai Ram. Zen meditation, confronting a cone, or just sitting. Studying of the Bhagavad Gita, the Tibetan Book of the Great Liberation, of Zhuangzi or Lao Tzu, of the I Ching and of the Tao Te Ching, of the New Testament, of the Old Testament, and on and on. How does it all come together? There is no form that represents the amalgam of all those things. If we follow all these methods to the apex, we are pushed beyond form. We are pushed into the moment. The merging with God is right here. And I like that. I like that a lot. I hope you guys did too. It is, kind of interesting to think about all the different ways that we can get to the formless. And I think that's a lot of what we're talking about today is just, it's all about love, loving each other and being in the moment. And those are really the only things that count in the future, Oh, mercy. It is just a wonderful, wonderful experience to, a wonderful journey to be on, and where we can be here talking about how we do this. I don't know. I kind of got the impression that love will save the world. Thank you, Simone, for listening. Oh, my stars. What a great group of folks we got here today. I love that. I love this. I love being on here. I love talking to you guys. What's Casey got to say? For what everything she said is worth. My narc mother said something similar to being enlightened is to take all of the holy and pull the good from them while exiling the bad. There was a phrase that I used to hear in the rooms of the 12-step programs, and it was take what you need and leave the rest. And today I needed this conversation, so I so appreciate you all coming and helping me discuss this. Did we come up with any answers? I don't know. Do we love more? That's really the answer. Will we be able to find? I don't know. What do you guys think? I think it's really kind of a wonderful experience to. Well, that's so nice, Holly. We need you every day, but we only get you on Wednesdays. I'll tell you what, this is hard to do a show every week. It is. I used to wonder why those talk show host who would take so much time off, and now I understand. But thank you for saying that. Last week I started a gender support group locally here, and we'll be having our second get together on Zoom what is it? Saturday night. Yeah. And that's, takes a little time, effort. And so I don't know, one of the reasons that I did that is I'd been asked to, and I had months ago, I was asked to do it, and I just, no, I'm not doing it. And so then I heard this story that happened, and then I got that new book, that I was just talking about a few minutes ago, and talking about the back cover. And I set that book down, and the back cover, I hadn't looked at it yet. And there it was. It said, "Serve everyone." And at that point, I had no choice. It's funny. It's totally funny the way my mind thinks about certain things, because I'll see a sign like that. And to me, it's a sign that I'm supposed to do this. It was like when Ram Dass died here a year or so ago. I thought, well, I'll buy his last book, and it was called "Walking Each Other Home," and it was, discussed preparing to die. And I went to look for it, and it was like $25 for a hardcover. They didn't have paperback. And I just thought, well, here I'm going to spend $25 and set the book on my to read pile. And I really wasn't feeling like I had an extra $25. And so then I was and I thought, well, somebody been talking to me about Audible books. And so here was this Audible book, and the cost was nothing for me. And bingo, I jumped on that. And I've listened to that book 2 or 3 times now. And to me, that was Ram Dass has given me a gift, and that is the way I look at stuff. And I ran into these Christian ladies in on the East Coast here recently, and one of them had sent me this introduction to the Course of Miracles. And in talking with her, I really enjoyed talking with her, and we were kind of on the same wavelength, and I thought, well, this isn't really all that. And so I ordered the Course on Miracles book, and because all these things that were happening in my life kind of pointed that it was time for me to read that book, or to learn about that, to do this Course of Miracles. And wow, so I purchased the book, and I'm really stoked on it all. I mean, I've got like 4 books now that I'm actively reading, all of them, and it's just wow. It's just kind of weird how this stuff manifests itself in front of me. That I can post it someplace. I think we're gonna have to do a Facebook page, Holly. I'm not sure how we're gonna do that. That was not the one I was trying to show. How did I get the Audible book for free? Because Ram Dass gifted it to me. I don't know. It was just an. I love this. Christians give Christians a bad name. Amen. Amen. I couldn't agree with you more on that. I do not claim to be a Christian. Oh gosh. Oh, let's go a few more minutes. I'm loving you guys, loving on you because you're all saying thank you and whatnot, and it's really gratifying to be mixed up with you guys. So anyway, exactly, Holly. Exactly the thing I'm trying to say is sometimes things are just meant to be, and so I take a chance on it. Fate or coincidence or however you want to call that. I'm there on that. Okay, Louise, so good to see you here today. And thank you for all your input and whatnot. You go get that shot and let us know tomorrow how well you're feeling. I suffered a little bit through my first shot, and I suffered less on the second one. Some people say you suffer more on the second one. So anyway, I'll be looking for a word from you, my dear. Have a good day and rest well after you get that shot. Because for like 3-4 days, I was fatigued. Couldn't hardly do anything. So have a good one. I think we're all going to leave about 1:30, Holly. Whoops. Go get poked. Marianne Williamson, I'll tell you what, Christy, I watched a couple of videos of hers last week and I was completely enthralled. She is just so wonderful. And to think that she actually ran for president and had I known of her then the way I know of her now, I would have been in her corner supporting her. I hope that she continues to think of politics. Are you out of here, Darrigan? Take care. And tomorrow we work in touch with you. So take care. Have a good evening. I've got another appointment today at 5, and so I can't roast coffee tonight. Oh, cool. How soon do you get it? Man, we're just whipping through because Darrigan's young, we're just whipping through people here in Columbia County. Of course, there's only 5,000 people, if that. Where was I? Oh, Marianne Williamson, fabulous, fabulous speaker, and talks about this. One of the things that I was really amazed at, you know, as we've talked about many times before, I'm in 12-step recovery program, and she refers to that program often. And I don't think that she is in recovery. She just calls that book that is our Bible, divinely written. And I couldn't agree with her more, you know, and so it's a book about compassion, about helping others, and about loving each other, and you know, that was one of the things that kept me from going into AA sooner than I did, was because of that whole God thing. I wasn't ready to do any of that, and you know, what a wonderful thing it turned out to be. Oh, you know what I was going to do? I wanted to try doing something. So the last time I tried doing this, I lost you all. So we're close enough to the end that if I lose you all, I'm probably not going to come back. Wait, Louise is saying something. I would like to see a secular Christian church, maybe not say Christ, but just Jesus. The scripture would be the Thomas Jefferson Bible, and all the miracles and supernatural things left out. Interesting, yeah. Interesting. Yeah, yeah. I saw a deal the other day, and it was it was a minister from the pod, People of Diversity, that was really interesting. It was a friend of mine, actually, that I've just met. And that was kind of surprised me. I enjoyed this. I actually enjoyed the sermon. And, you know, I started that whole deal because of the musical aspect of it, because my friend was a musical director for that podcast, and she had done the old Youngblood song "Get Together." Come on, people, now smile at your brother, everybody, and had turned it into this gospel song that was just way, way, way cool. And I had never thought in terms of gospel for that particular song. You know, it was an anthem of about 1967, 66, 68, kind of a hippie anthem, and just fabulous. And anyway, I stuck around and listened to the whole deal. I don't know the words good enough, Christy. Should I look them up and sing you a song? We could do that. I don't know. Maybe I shouldn't. Maybe I shouldn't. Where to go? But, you know, twist my arm. Tell. Right. One of my favorite songs, Simone. One of my favorite songs. So, There it is. So are you all ready for this? Off to see the lizard. Oh my God. That's scary. Simone, you're just down in Portland, aren't you? I think we should get together. We think a lot the same. Another reading. Hey, I'll tell you what. I was getting. This is too cool. You guys are always singing on that chat room and whatnot. And well, then as soon as we're all vaccinated, let's meet and like not Yakima, but along the freeway someplace or on the other side of the river is much more fun at Mary Hill Museum. Oh gosh. Love is but a song we sing, and fear's the way we die. You can make the mountains ring or make the angels cry. And I've lost the tune. Anyway, I'm not that good a singer because I can't carry a tune in a bucket. So anyway, oh, you were asking if I was going to do another reading? You know, maybe I can find another parable. Or maybe I should. I like the words of this song. Love is but a song we sing, and fear's the way we die. You can make the mountains ring or make the angels cry. Though the bird is on the wing, and you may not know why, come on, people now. Smile on your brother. Everybody get together. Try to love one another right now. Some will come and some will go. We shall surely pass. When the one that left us here returns for us at last, we are but a moment's sunlight fading in the grass. Come on, people now. Smile on your brother. Everybody get together. Try to love one another right now. Come on, people now. And on into perpetuity. Oh, dear. Well, you know, June is not very far away. You know, June is not far away. I mean, God, just yesterday it was February, and here it is March already. So, anyway, so we turned that into a poetry reading instead of singing a song or a parable. And I thought that was fine. And here it is, 129. So let's wrap this up. Thank you all for joining me today. I've enjoyed the show. Thanks for listening to me ramble on and on about compassion and what's it take. I think it's important. You know, all we can do is go out there and love everybody the best we can, tell the truth, give service, relieve suffering, and all will be good. You know, we'll keep moving forward. I'm looking to meet Simone in Maryhill come June, and that'll be so much fun. I mean, that's only a couple hours for both of us if we meet someplace in the middle, or Hood River even, something, or Stevenson, over in that Skamania country. Oh my God, that's pretty over there, up the Wind River. You know what? There is a place up there, a little spa up the Wind River, someplace. I think it's relatively inexpensive, and it's got hot springs, and I'll see if I can remember what the name of it is and check it out. Maybe we could meet there. So anyway, just an idea. So goodbye, you guys. Thanks for joining me today, and we'll see you the same time, same place next week. And I don't know if anybody's got any ideas for a topic. Fire them off my way. I'll listen. Doesn't mean I will do it, but I'll listen. And, you know, I can't believe how blessed I am to have you guys with me on this journey. And you know, what a great life. I've got so much in my life today. And you know, a lot of it's because of you all. You know, you bring the abundance to my life. And so I want to thank you for being followers. Bye, Lou. Bye, Casey. Bye, Lizois. Eva. Sarah. Oh, my love, Sarah. Christy. Holly's gone, probably. Lulu, did I say Casey? Did I say goodbye to Casey? I did not. And, you know, love you all. Have I missed anybody? I don't mean to. So I'm just going to shut up and go. Thank you. Thank you. Namaste. And over and out. Woohoo. Bye-bye.